Now, to start off, one will be 19 volts, 330 inches a minute with 0.30 diameter wire. That's 0.8 millimeter diameter wire. And we'll start off with a little bit of a push angle, using just a little bit of gun manipulation. This is kind of like, I don't know, I'm just in the habit of doing this, especially on when I'm using the 0.30 wire and short circuit MIG. I'm just in the habit of doing a little bit of oscillation like this, a little series of loops. And I may have to get out of that habit, to be honest with you, but old habits are kind of hard to break. They say that it's supposed to set the machine where it sounds like bacon frying. Probably a pretty good idea. All right, that's the finished joint there. You can see a little bit of spatter there. That's typical when you push, unless you turn the wire feed speed up quite a bit higher. There's always lots of discussion on pushing versus pulling, and I think that really comes from because there are so many different modes of transfer. You know, there's spray transfer, short circuit transfer, etc. With short circuit transfer, I prefer to pull, but I push also. Just depends on the situation. I've done these kind of tests before. I generally get a little bit better penetration pulling, a little less spatter pulling, but not much difference. Not like night and day. There are subtle differences in the bead profile and penetration. But we're going to test it and show what each one does. All right, that's a series of sort of like U's or cursive E's, and which one you use will determine how much buildup you have in your weld, and it also affects your travel speed. Like if I'm looping back into the weld like this, that's going to build up a little bit more, and that's going to slow down travel speed. Whereas if I don't loop back into the weld at all, I just keep moving forward, that speeds up travel speed and usually, you know, spreads the ripples out and doesn't build up as much. So now it's time to cut all these, kind of see where I'm at. Get a little polish on them, put a little acid etch. Let me remind you here what the puddle looked like on the pull. And then we'll put a little acid on there and see what we got. One on the right, slightly better than the one on the left. Both of those were pulling. Now here comes the push. We'll give it a quick acid etch, and you can see the penetration on that bottom plate is a little bit less than it was with the pull. There they are side to side. Again, not like night and day. The differences are subtle. It could have been me. I could have had my gun angle a little off. I don't know. But that's a consistent result I get when I do push versus pull tests.